Wimbledon, of course, a couple of seasons ago. It sounds, from what they're saying, as though Ian Wright won't start the match for Crystal Palace, but we'll have confirmation of the teams in due course. Two very different clubs involved in this 1990 Cup final. Let's go behind the scenes a little of both of them.
Manchester United isn't just another football club. It's an empire. Old Trafford is a shrine insured for £30 million. A full house of 50,000 spectators means gate receipts of £250,000. And for the players lucky enough to pull on the famous red shirts, no creature comfort is denied. This club's sense of place, sense of permanence, is even cemented into the dressing room tiles. Manchester United's stage has been graced by some of the game's finest gladiators.
Players are losing this ball in the sun, but it was Best who picked up that kid flick. Driven wide. Yes!
Still Morgan, Gowling, Law! Oh, yes!
Best playing the pass as he was moving. Charlton going for a 1-2 and getting it! Oh, what a goal!
Best, Law and Charlton weaved magic on United's field of dreams, and every player who treads this turf has a deep-rooted commitment to Manchester United, even the rival cup final manager.
Well, obviously with my connections over the years, I have a very warm feeling for the club. I just think it's the biggest and the best. Everyone talks about sleeping giants, but this club is a giant, full stop.
The worldwide fame and glamour of Manchester United is unlikely to inhibit Crystal Palace today, but it's typical of the FA Cup's magic that a club so utterly different to United could be their opponents at Wembley. And were the Cup to return to unpretentious Selhurst Park, well, they'd be buying the silver polish for the first time in their history. The failure to win just about anything is the biggest contrast with United. But every club, whatever its traditional status, has had its heroes, of course, even if in Palace's case, they've tended to be of the less expensive variety.
Hughes wants to set himself up and does! Oh, what a goal!
Craven,
Rodgers away!
Lawson off his line, he's made it! You can't ask for a better start than that!
That was Wilkins who fell, and Whittle who benefited. Swindlehurst going through the middle. Here's Taylor again, and Palace now is stretching Chelsea. Chatterton's going inside again, there he is. On again for Taylor. Well, this man may well have won the tie in the space of 2 minutes.
More people climb this spiral staircase at Old Trafford each year to visit the Manchester United Museum than attend 2 Crystal Palace home games. 35,000 of them from 64 different countries who come to gaze into Manchester United's history. There are shirts, old and new, the silverware from 6 FA Cup triumphs, 7 league titles. 330 different exhibits in all.
Just recently we had some people in from New York State. The chap who called was actually born in Salford, just a couple of miles away. And he wanted to come and see his roots, and they'd gone. The house where he was born had been demolished. But while he was in the area, he had to go and see the famous Manchester United. And yet he'd lived in America from being a child. So it's, I think that illustrates the drawing power of the club.
Most prominent in the wall-to-wall mural is the face of the man under whose stewardship the club aspired to greatness. Sir Matt Busby came to Old Trafford in the dark post-war years, when crowds wrapped around the ground like fingers were hungry for success. There was an FA Cup success in 1948, a First Division title in 1952. And then a team christened the Busby Babes took the title again in '56.
right wing. Blackpool defence trying the offside game. Berry going through with it by himself. Cross it comes and Palms made a perfect hit. That's it. It's a fake hit. It's a goal. It's a goal. This is the goal that should give them the championship.
The double was missed at Wembley the following year by the first of several cruel twists of fate.
That's got to Sewell. McPollan. And that was a fair charge, but unfortunately their heads have collided. And both McPollan and Wood are out. Smith. Once again it's Whelan, and once again it's Smith. Now, Dixon. McPollan, it's a goal by McPollan.
Next season, the Babes were on the threshold of European triumph in the semi-final of the Champions Cup, but the fates conspired otherwise. The Munich air crash killed half the team, evoking worldwide sympathy and laying the foundations for the legend that Manchester United have become.
It was a terrible, terrible experience. And the last thing I thought at the time would be that I'd ever be associated with football again. It was a good job I went back and forced myself to go back, because I become occupied and I got this obsession again that Manchester United were going to the top.
They did, winning the FA Cup in 1963 and 2 more league titles before a memorable night in 1968 when they became the first English team to win the European Cup.
Gets Charlton in the middle, so too is Aston. Charlton! Another! He's got another! Manchester United have done it!
It remains Manchester United's finest moment.
Crystal Palace actually began life in more glamorous surroundings than United. Playing in the shadow of the famous glass exhibition centre, staff who worked there made up the team. But while the football ground survived and indeed played host to FA Cup finals around the turn of the century, the original Crystal Palace FC didn't. The 1914 final was played in front of George V. Burnley and Liverpool were the finalists. Burnley won. Meanwhile, a new palace had been born elsewhere. Any thoughts of returning to their old home were to go up in flames in the fire that destroyed most of the exhibition centre. Not far from the present Selhurst railway station, a temporary home was found for Crystal Palace Mark II. Indeed, it was while their home was the Nest, as it was known, Palace were admitted to the Football League, and they became the first champions of the 3rd Division. Some argued the high spot of their history until this season. Their permanent home since 1924, Selhurst Park, had to wait 45 years to see First Division football. When it came, their first opponents were who else but Manchester United.
There's George Best with the hair blending into the shirt. And on the front of that hair, we find he's growing just a little bit of a beard. Either that or he didn't have time for a shave this morning. Grimm has come for it. Oh, he was never really there. And Sadler tries to clear it, and Hine gets the touch. This is Sadler. Morgan. Hines with him. Kidd and Law together. Charlton coming in. And the goal for Bobby Charlton. Cliff Jackson. The running by Queen. Doing well to control it. And the goal by Jerry Queen. That's a nasty one. Oh, Jackson. Morgan. And a goal. Willie Morgan.
Kidd to Best. With the ball bouncing, wobbling very badly over on that far side. Kidd, it's there! Oh, good mistake by Muir, and it's Jackson. And a penalty. penalty. Manchester United can conceivably have thrown away this ridiculous point now. A mistake by Ure sends Cliff Jackson away, and Stepney has to bring him down. Just 15 minutes left. Sewell takes the penalty for Crystal Palace. And, well, good gracious me. And it's a goal. It's a goal now. Nobody moved to help Stepney, and Sewell has put it in.
Manchester United's popularity is reflected in the fact that the average home attendance at Old Trafford of almost 39,000 is again the highest in the league, 2,000 more per game than Liverpool. Their supporters club has 90 branches, many of them overseas, and hundreds of these fans will have travelled on the overnight ferries from Ireland. Almost 1,000 staff are required to run Old Trafford on a match day. Only 100 of those are policemen. The club wage bill is £2 million a year, and programme sales are 40,000 a match. It's a sign that times are changing. While the average fan makes his way to the terracing, the modern corporate spectators are being catered for in 95 private boxes, each with an eagle's eye view of the pitch and waitress service for all their needs. Manchester United is an industry. What scale is the club on now?
Well, it's on a massive scale in professional football terms. Even in the period I've been here, 25 years, the staff must have increased, you know, 100%, 200%. We have so many other facilities other than now just putting the match on a Saturday. You know, the box and executive accommodation has grown tremendously, the sponsorship, commercialisation, you know, shops. I mean, now it's a 7-day business.
A cruel joke emanating, no doubt, from Merseyside has been that the only thing you could be certain of getting at Old Trafford in recent seasons has been a good meal. More than 800 of them are cooked on match days for the private boxes, plus 7 restaurants and executive suites. They turn over, in food alone, £1 million a year. The club's souvenir shop is the size of a small supermarket, and security guards have to filter the customers on match days. There are £50 jackets, 50p key rings. 100 postal inquiries come every day from places like the Soviet Union and the United States. 18 staff are required on the busiest days, and it all helps to generate Manchester United's burgeoning wealth.
Facts and figures. Figures, I can't tell you. We'll make a lot of money here. Facts, it must be the finest souvenir shop in the country, if not the world. On a match day, we roughly have about 10,000 people coming through here.
And how many individual items have you got on sale?
Individual, roughly about 600 individual items.
And what's the most popular?
The scarf.
Still?
Yeah, the still, yeah. £3.50, £2. We sell items ranging from 50p to £50.
How's the sales going in the souvenir shop, Danny?
Oh, very well at the moment. As you can imagine, it's cup final day and it's going very well.
How big is this club?
Well, I think it's the biggest and I think it's the best. I've been in different sort of industries, but I've come here as a supporter and I've been in now for 5 years, and even though it's big, it never loses its warmth. It's still homely and friendly. It's a legend, really, isn't it? Everybody knows Manchester United. You go on holidays, but Manchester United, Bobby Charlton, it seems to rhyme together. And if you come on the match days, there's as many people outside here at 11 o'clock as what there is at most grounds at 2:45. And I think if we could only win the championship, the people would be sitting on the roof to get in here.
Without being in any way disrespectful to Crystal Palace, put the two clubs into perspective for us, the one against the other.
It's a difficult question, really. I think everybody's got a product to sell, whether it be Manchester United, whether it be Crystal Palace, or whether it be Scunthorpe. You've just got to cut your cloth accordingly to your product. That's the way I feel about it. And I think if I was at Crystal Palace, they've got through to the final, the commercial manager must be clapping his hands, as I am.